Every cloud has a silver lining. In this case, the cloud was the Deepwater Horizon oil spill. The silver lining was that I've gotten to work with and know some of the most brilliant scientists in the United States. Chuck Wilson and Kevin Shaw are two leaders of the research management team for the Gulf of Mexico Research Initiative, a group that was tasked nearly a decade ago of studying the long-term effects of the oil spill of the Gulf of Mexico and its coast. While they have overseen the day-to-day operations of this program over the years, they are taking a break from the countless meetings and conferences to experience the fun of offshore fishing. And when it comes to having fun on the water, there is no better than Captain George Pfeiffer and his crew aboard the Emerald Spirit. Join us this week as we take the Gomery Research Management team and head out looking for the greater amberjack. It's a great day to relax and learn aboard the Emerald Spirit. Coming up next, right here on Gary Finch Outdoors. We could not have asked for a more beautiful Orange Beach morning at Sportsman's Marina. With mirror images in the water of boats patiently waiting for their passengers, we knew it would be a great day of smooth sailing. Our team of scientists were beginning to gather at the dock as provisions were loaded. This was going to be a full day of fishing with Captain George Pfeiffer. George started taking a head count and going over some of the rules for the day.
Well, yeah. I'm counting y'all, so 17. I need to know how many to bring back, you know. That's the most important thing. Good morning, everybody. I'm Captain George. This is my crew, Tom and Will. Catching amberjack is like keeping a train rolling. When they start biting, if you lose momentum, and they quit biting for any reason because somebody wasn't fast enough to rebait another hook and get a bait back down there, when they get fired off, when they quit biting, it's over. I don't care if there's 10,000 pounds of fish down there, you can go to the next hole. We've caught some extremely large amberjacks here lately. There's some over 100 pounders out there right now, so. And we are gonna test the tackle today. So, any questions so far? Have I totally blown your mind from jerk and then don't jerk? You're really good and confused now? All right.
After our Amberjack Fishing 101 class was over, the Emerald Spirit headed through the pass. Our first stop would be to load up on live bait. While everyone was enjoying the variety of species landed, we asked Tom why this is a crucial part of the successful Amberjack trip.
Well, for what we're targeting, the fish prefer live bait. Amberjack, scamp love these baits, so we're going to try to do a little grouper fishing with these. They can't resist them.
Under Captain George's watchful eye, our group had the live well stocked and ready to go. Folks, the first thing we're doing is we're aboard the Emerald Spirit out of Orange Beach, Alabama, out of Sportsman's Marina. And I tell you what, we got a great crew. Got Chuck and Kevin on board. They helped put this trip together. First thing that Captain George Pfeiffer mentioned was we got to catch bait, and that sometimes it's hard to do in certain times of year. But so far we're picking up a few stragglers and stuff. We're using these Sabiki rigs, and we're also using a few little jigs. And what we need is about 50 baits before we go offshore, because when you go offshore, you're going to spend an hour or so getting out there, and you want to have bait in your well. So right now, this time of year, fishing for amberjack, but there's all kind of fish out there that love to bite. It's hot, it's still hot, but we're going to run out about an hour, and then maybe catch some mingos. And while we catch some mingos, the same thing as Vermilion snapper for y'all or anybody else, and then we'll also try to catch some more bait while we're at it. So stay with us. We're on our way. As you can see, it's a beautiful day right here on Gary Finch Outdoors. You could tell that everyone was excited and having a great time already. Even if the fish didn't get all the way to the boat, this group was just as thrilled for the sights and sounds of Gulf fishing. first target species of the day, landed by Jesse Swanson, was a delicious vermilion snapper, a local delicacy along the Gulf Coast.
You wouldn't mind grab that, please.
Got it.
How did you get a start?
Oh my gosh.
Not bad for a beginner.
We were off to a great start with a little friendly ribbing to set the tone for the day. Chuck! Hey Chuck, this is what we're at. Hey Chuck! Chuck! This is what we're after.
That's the target species.
This is what we're after.
Yeah, Gary's still in bait mode.
Look this way. Mine's bigger than that.
This is hardcore.
You guys, you got to hold the rod tip.
The greater amberjack is considered the bulldog of wreck fishing along the Gulf Coast. Once this fish takes the bait, the angler has only seconds to turn his head and muscle him away from the wreck to prevent being cut off. With its large head, heavy body, and forked tail, the amberjack has the reputation of fighting all the way to the boat. It's just one of those fish that everyone wants to catch. Alabama, like other Gulf Coast states, values the amberjack as a premier game and table fish. In comparison to other large fish, it can also be caught relatively close to shore. The Gulf Coast states and their sports fishermen have been committed to bringing the amberjack back to its former size and numbers. The limits imposed for both length and numbers are aiding in keeping the amberjack true to its fighting form. Along with public reefs and wrecks, there are plenty of private structures that have been established by charter boat captains. The combination of providing additional habitat and monitoring catch limits has already improved the quality of the amberjack that are now being caught in the Gulf of Mexico. With the amberjack being such a popular game fish, it will continue to be monitored and maintained as a saltwater treasure. Folks, we started off catching some bait this morning, and it's about it's good timing, about 10:30, 11 o'clock, and this is our second spot trying to catch some beeliners. And beeliners, since snapper's out of season, it's really nice to catch beeliners and vermilion snapper. And what we'll do from here is we'll take all that bait that we caught, and we spend a lot of time on catching bait, but you gotta have bait, because once you get out here, the bait's not here. And then we'll ease out there, catch some amberjack, go around and do some scamp fishing. So y'all stay with us. Everybody's having a good time and catching a lot of nice fish. And the beeliners are a bonus.
If you've been down there for a while and hadn't had a bite, you're out of bait.
Captain George circled around to another spot. It was time to drop for amberjack. Not every angler will fish at once on an amberjack spot. George prefers 4 rods at a time, covering all the corners. Ooh, that water's pretty.
Something big, about 15, 20 feet above the bottom, and it's coming up a little bit. You're right. Put a leash on that reel. I'm telling you, if that rod's bent that much, that's an 80-pound fish.
The first big fish would come from the side of the boat.
Big one. You see, Tom?
He's up there hiding.
He's not bouncing like an amberjack.
Walk on back this way.
Y'all better watch the line, gentlemen.
All right, let it right here.
Unfortunately, the color we saw was red, not gray. While this was a great catch for photos, red snapper season was currently closed. This beauty would have to go back to be caught another day.
George, I'm sorry. Just turn it around.
I was determined to get the amberjack fired up, so I sent down a slightly larger bait to entice the bite. Rainbow runner. You can see a lot of top.
Down there about 100 feet, 120 feet.
Looks like a dolphin. I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of times that we've come out here and caught this bait, and they won't eat it. So we'll just have to see what happens. It was just a few minutes until I had a fish on.
Should we reel up?
Don't jerk. You get a bite, you guys. You feed it to them.
Coaching was coming in from all sides as the fight was heating up.
They're coming again.
You guys, you gotta hold your rod tip up.
Up for amberjack.
Up to God.
If it's a small one, I'm gonna cry.
Is it an amberjack though?
As we saw color this time, it was the right shade. It was a nice greater amberjack to get the train rolling. Holy mackerel! Holy amberjack! That's it for this week's shows. We'll see you next week right here on Gary Finch Outdoors. Almighty no. Holy mackerel. Thumbs up from George sealed the deal. We had a picture-perfect catch. Make sure that we turn that fish the right way. Let's back up a little bit for him.
How long we switch mode?
Kevin Shaw was next on deck. The pull of an amberjack is something everyone should experience for themselves. The trick is to make headway as soon as you are hooked up.
May not be a jack.
Yeah, Kevin.
Here he comes. Right there. Where you at, ma'am?
Kevin brought in a nice sample, but it was just shy of the required fork length of 34 inches. Not to be outdone, Chuck Wilson was next in line.
Yes.
Let's not put this yet. I'm gonna position it first.
Chuck's got something.
I don't think that's a redfish. That's a big clown. Halibut. Oh, there's a big.
Tom and I worked out the particulars to get Chuck's fish safely on board. I'm gonna let you wire. All right.
Yeah!
Way to go. Oh yeah, we don't have to measure that one.
Chuck, you're a pro. Look at you.
Next up was Jay Ritchie. His fish had taken quite a bit of line and would take a lot of finesse to get it boated.
Hold up some fingers for however many 100 yards the line's out.
About 50 yards.
Jay's fish was a beautiful wahoo and another species to add to our list for the day. Watch out, there's teeth. There's teeth. Wahoo! Boom!
It wasn't so colorful anymore. All right.
Come on.
I'm going right by there on my way home. I'll drop him off for you.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute.
We'll be right back with more Gary Finch Outdoors.
Next, it was the ladies' turn. Tom was quick to offer words of encouragement to Kellen
got this,
Yanoff.
sister. Anything we can say to help? Okay, look, when the you don't do anything. When the lead starts to come up out of the water,
Okay.
I have you pick your rod up and just walk backwards a little bit so I can get that leader in my hand,
All right.
okay? Down this side. The lead should be coming out of
I'd
the
be a
water.
king.
This ain't no king.
King mackerel.
I've got Gary to fly fish on the gaff there.
Oh, now he done jinxed me.
Came on, bud.
Oh.
Came on, bud.
Unfortunately, despite the best coaching in the world, sometimes the big one gets away. We decided to continue trolling as we headed back to Orange Beach. It wasn't long until we had another bite. Joanne Sullivan was the next angler up. Tom resumed his coaching position, backed by a lot of cheerleading from the rest of the crew.
The other way to go, but when your lead, I'll tell you when your lead starts coming out of the water, pick the rod up, set it back.
You gotta dig! You gotta want it! You gotta want it, Joanne! You gotta want it!
If I lose this fish,
You know, I don't say that. You just reel and let us worry about it. Come on, bud. You got it. You got a whole boat full of for you. No, come on. You might be a big old good one. But you gotta keep reeling. It's a red snapper. It's a red snapper.
no!
Yeah, we gotta throw it back.
Coming out of the water. Keep on going. Keep on going. In just a second, I'm going to pick the rod. Keep on reeling. Keep on
Okay.
reeling. Give me 10 more feet, then we're going to pick the rod up, okay?
Okay.
Walk back for me. Hold the rod. Hold on to the rod.
Somebody get a picture. I need a picture of this. Archie has my camera.
He wasn't going anywhere.
Oh, watch him. Watch him.
All right, guys. Congratulations.
The final hookup of the day would prove to be the most fascinating for our group of researchers.
Should I walk down with him? No? Oh, he's right here. He is right.
Chris Kirby had hooked a large hammerhead shark that decided to crash our party and put on a good show for all the spectators.
Fear me? Got him.
I didn't get a picture of 7 foot.
Catch and release at the Hammerhead would mark the end to a wonderful day on the water. The only thing that made the day even better were fresh oysters straight from Chuck's Oyster Farm, Navy Cove Oysters. Captain George Pfeiffer and his crew had once again proven that nobody does it better. To book your trip, contact Action Charter Service today. That's our show for this week, and we'll see you next week on another episode of Gary Finch Outdoors.